Sharkie Game here. So today we'll take a look at TalkMan. This is a PSP game, and this one in particular comes bundled with an actual PSP microphone. So it says in the cover here, TalkMan, talk abroad with PSP. This is basically like a translator. So when you go overseas, you use TalkMan to help translate your words so other country, when you're in other countries, other people can understand what you're saying. Then here you can see the blue bird. He's Max. He's the kind of character that helps you through the game to translate your words. On the back of the case, it says, I'm Max. I'm fluent in 6 languages and I've got over 3,000 handy phrases to help you have everyday conversations with people all over the world. So tell me, do you talk TalkMan? And it's got some screenshots and it's got some more. Make yourself understood in foreign countries. Just speak clearly into your PSP and let Max do the talking for you. Improve your foreign language skills with fun-filled pronunciation and listening games. Plus, use TalkMan as a voice recorder, alarm clock, and unit converter on your travels. And it's got more kind of screenshots there. And it says, yeah, TalkMan translates between English, French, German, Italian, Spanish, and Japanese. So it's got quite a good selection of languages there. Inside the box, you've got a bit of a manual here, which is really just a basic kind of manual. It just goes through all the really basic type of features of the game and just the different game modes. Nothing really detailed. You've also got quite a little quick introduction sheet, which basically tells you how to navigate menus and stuff like that. It's got different languages as well. And of course you've got the UMD, and then you've got the little basically PSP mic. So this is a little microphone for your PSP. So it's pretty small. I'll just grab my PSP. So basically, you take this and you install it on the top of your PSP in the connection here. And then you screw that little, it's got like a little screw there, and you just screw that in until it's tight. And then you insert your UMD, power on the PSP, wait for the UMD to actually pick itself up. So the microphone itself is quite small, as you can see. It fits quite nicely on top of the PSP. Doesn't add really too much extra onto it. It's pretty standard. It's kind of silver. Okay, so once it's loaded, you just start up the UMD. And the first thing you'll see is this language selection. And this is selecting your language. So you can select French, Dutch, Italian, Japanese, Spanish, and English. So it's what your language is. So let's go ahead and select English. And it'll ask you male or female, doesn't matter. I've tried both of them to see if there's any difference. I can't really find any difference between it, so it doesn't really matter what you select, I don't think. And it'll come up with a screen here. I'll play an intro soon. Start. So after the opening, it should take us to the profile creation screen where we can actually make a profile for ourselves. And you can skip that intro, by the way. It plays once, and once you've saved something, it doesn't play again unless you go and tell it to. And during that intro, you can skip it. So the first thing is a microphone test. So we just press X. Please check the microphone connection. If the mic is properly connected, press the X button. And it says just place a short distance away from your mouth. Let's test. So we're going to hold down the square button now to activate the microphone. Hello. And then of course it comes up with your profile. So I'll quickly add a profile. Basically, once you're done, you press start. And you don't have to add anything else. You can add a voice, you can add your date of birth if you want. If you just add a voice, you can add like your name and how you say it. So that's an optional. But if you're ready to go, then you just press start. And it will save to the memory card. And once you've done that, it'll take you to Max's room, where you can then start selecting the different game modes. So this is Max in his room. All you have to do is press start. It'll bring up this little menu down the bottom here, and it gives you options, talk mode, game mode, and tools. Alright, so you basically, the main one of course is your talk mode. Now this is what you would use for most of your translations. What I find about this game, it does have quite a bit of load screens in between. Alright, so now we come to the screen, now we're selecting the other person's language. So say, what we'll do is we'll select Japanese. So say you're in Japan, you speak English, obviously you want to translate to Japanese, we'll select Japanese. Now come to the scene, and this is where you actually can select either a location, like beaches, skiing, beauty salons, nightlife, in the plane, airports, hotel, restaurant, shopping, sightseeing and tours, performance, sporting events, golfing, and it goes back. And the other side you've got basic conversation, meeting people, hospital, emergency, time and numbers, walking, taxi, subway, bus, train, rental cars, money, mail, telephone, internet. So basically these are all your basic categories that you can select of different ones. They each contain a whole lot of different phrases. So we just go to basic conversation first. We come to the screen here. Now this screen gives you a bit of, you can have different options. You can either just press the square button to straight away go into the basic microphone record type mode, where it will then listen to you, or you can press this trigger on, your right trigger, to go to your crib notes. And this basically shows what you can actually do. So you've got subcategories, so you've got greetings, answering back, saying thank you. You've got different areas. So we go greetings. You have different ones you can choose from, and you can automatically select them. But if you don't want this, you can just say it. So we try. Hold down the square. Hello.
Here's what you want to say in included here?
As you can say, it's picked up me saying hello. It's the options to give me hello, no, thank you. That's the things. So we just select hello, X. Alright, and then you press X again to play it. So now she's just said that in Japanese. And we can replay it again by pressing X again, or we can then cancel it. And again, like anything you can say, like, it's hard saying, how are you? And automatically it's picked up, how are you? Play. And again, he's asked. And of course, like certain questions, you can also ask for an answer back and sort of thing. Like certain categories will allow that feature. What time is it?
You'll probably find what you want to say here.
What time is it? Sometimes when you ask him questions though, he doesn't quite understand you. So there are quite a few phrases where I've asked and they just have no idea what it is. So it sometimes is difficult, but then again you can just try work around it. What day is it?
Well, do you see it here?
So he's actually picked me up then. He says, what day is it? Of course, at any time during this thing where you don't want the same language, you can just change it by pressing start and going down to change language, and it allows you to set their language. So now we're in German, select Dutch. Hello.
How's this? Hello.
Sorry, that's German. How are you?
Let's see. Like this. Wie geht es Ihnen?
So again, it shows you that. Now, if you want to change the scene, you just select the L. It'll go back to these categories where you can then change to a different location. Let's go in the plane. I'll change the language again. Let's change the language to Italian. Where is my seat?
I hope it's here.
Where is the seat?
Dov'è questo posto? Mi puoi indicare la direzione?
Can I have coffee?
This is about all I can come up with.
Okay, as you can see, this one hasn't given the exact options, but down here it says coffee, please.
Caffè, grazie.
And you can also say ask for answer as well down here. So you press that.
Quel che vuoi dire è incluso qui.
It then gives basically an option. So if you want to play and you ask this to someone that only speaks Italian, then they could then look at this and then give you a response. So if it was just C,
Yeah.
it translates the answer back to you. So it gives you a bit of option to do things, and I mean you can ask a lot of different things in these kind of modes, and it's really depending on what you want to ask. Sometimes you have to play around a bit, and there's multiple categories that you can go through and actually find exactly the one you're sort of looking for, I guess. But this is not all the thing the game has. So we just go back to let's go into something and then go back to the main menu here. So we're going to exit talk mode now. Talk mode is absolutely excellent to basically do general conversation, location, generic translations, whatever the case may be. But yeah, it's quite a decent mode and it works quite well. Sometimes I found it didn't exactly what I had, it had something similar. But then of course you can go to that crib notes, which is this one down here, and just look to see what kind of greetings there are if you don't want to actually just say it. It's a lot quicker though just to say it and try talking to the microphone though. So the other things of the game, you've actually got a game mode. So we go down to game mode, pronunciation game, and listening game. We'll start with the pronunciation game. And we'll select Japanese.
From now on, call me Professor Max.
So now basically he'll actually try and help you, teach you pronunciation of certain Japanese phrases.
Now let's see how well that pronunciation is coming along.
So you just pick a puzzle piece, which we'll just do the first one.
Get ready for the first question. Konnichiwa.
So I basically got to repeat that. You can also just say playback,
Konnichiwa.
and where you can press this and triangle to play it back slowly.
Konnichiwa.
So we'll give it a try. Konnichiwa.
Your pronunciation was, well, not bad, but there's
I got a
room
C.
for improvement.
I'm brilliant at this, aren't I? So you can go next question.
I wonder if you can handle this one. Sayonara. Sayonara.
Sayonara.
If I had to say one way or the other, that was excellent. Right on.
Oh, I got an A. That's surprising. Next
Go
question.
for perfect pronunciation. 会えて嬉しいです。会えて嬉しいです。会えて嬉しいです。
I do Rashidish.
Well, that was perfect. Couldn't be
Wow.
better.
I didn't think that would be. Thought that sounded
Can
terrible,
you say
actually.
this one? いいえ、結構です。いいえ、結構です。いいえ、結構です。
Yeah, kick Corazon.
Yes, I see. That was quite good indeed. You'll be reaching the top in no time. How's this? ありがとう。ありがとう。ありがとう。
Arigato.
How should I say? Your pronunciation was, well, not a bad start. Just keep at it. You're almost there.
So I got an average score of a B. Not bad. Once you've done that, it'll go to the next puzzle piece, and then you can play the next lot of like phrases and things that it gives you. So this is quite an interesting mode. As you can learn a bit more pronunciation, they kind of rate you on it. So we'll go now to the next mode. We'll just exit this. We'll go back to Max's room. The other kind of mode is, of course, the listening game. So it's a bit different. It's more of a game mode and sort of rates you more on a kind of game show style, I guess you could say. So we'll go back to game. We'll go to the listening game. And we'll do that. What should we do it in French? Let's do it in French.
Me to be your teacher. Now let me check your listening skills.
So you pick a puzzle piece again.
Out of your ears? Then let's hit it.
Alright, so you listen to samples. Basically the idea is that you listen to hollow samples, and you sort of listen to each one, and at the end you have to identify which one he's saying.
Bonjour. Salut. Merci. Pardon? Stay on your toes. Salut.
I think that was high. And then I'll tell you if you got it right or wrong. I got it right.
Right on.
Got a big O. You get a big X if you get it wrong.
Begin. De nuit. Oui, merci. Bonne nuit.
I have absolutely no idea. Let's go for the first one. It's probably going to be wrong. Yep, it's wrong. So yeah, it's quite interesting. It's like a game show type thing. If we just go back out of this, and the last thing that includes as part of this game is you have a bit of tools in this. So we go to the menu and we go down to tools. So you got a friend map, and this is where it like brings up like a giant map, and you can just mark any kind of friends around the world that you've made or whatever the case may be. You've got a unit converter, which is basically just converting money. You've got length, width, area, volume, temperature, so just a bit of a calculator sort of thing. You've got an alarm, which you just set a time, date where you want an alarm to go off. You've got a voice memo, and this is where you can record like little snippets of your voice. Say you want to leave yourself a note in voice form, you can leave it in here. And that's pretty much it for the tool menu. So it's just really a basic extra kind of feature you get. In your main mode is of course your conversation, but overall it's quite a decent game. I mean, the basic conversation is pretty good in all the areas. It'd be very handy if you were going overseas. You can imagine if you were traveling in any one of those countries and you took along this with you, with your PSP, had this game, just in case you need it. And, you know, if you need it, you can try to do a couple of phrases. It might get you out of trouble. I mean, it's only got basic type of phrases, but I would say it's got more than enough to get you by. Especially if you're in a foreign country, don't know any kind of bit of their language, then this would be ideal. And the microphone, I mean, it's actually quite good. I find it's actually really sensitive, because I thought when I first started doing this that you have to be really close to it, but you don't actually have to be too close. It'll actually come in green and go red when you're too loud, and I mean, even this being close to the camera, it was actually coming up a bit of red, so it's actually a bit probably too loud for, too close to the microphone for it. But overall, I mean, it's quite a decent kind of tool. It's sort of, I'll just say, it's one of these type of tools that or games that you'd only use occasionally. Like, you wouldn't use it if you were just in your own country. You would use it if you were going away on holiday or going to a foreign country. I mean, or learning. I guess if you were wanting to learn some basic phrases from your language, then this would be the ideal kind of tool. But overall, it's pretty good. The microphone is pretty small as well, so it wouldn't be too cumbersome to take with you. So it's not like it's a huge microphone or anything, cables or anything. It's really small, very portable. And of course you could just take that and the UMD with you. You don't need anything else to use it. So, you know, it is an idea to use it from. It would be ideal for any traveler. I mean, if I was traveling to another country or something like this would be awesome. So overall, really cool thing. And you can buy these really cheap as well. I mean, these whole kind of package is like $15. Brand new for the game and the microphone. So $15 gets you this kind of basically PSP Translator. So absolutely brilliant price at the moment. They're fairly common as well, so you can see them pretty much everywhere, especially from the UK, I've noticed. But you can also get the Japanese versions as well. But yeah, overall, if you have any of your languages, then this would be suited for you. Of course, it doesn't have every single language. It's only got limited languages, but hey, it does excellent job for what the language it does support. So overall, if you're a PSP fan or you want a sort of translator for your PSP, then this is something you should look at. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm Sharkie Gamer. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll have heaps more videos of controllers and accessories up very shortly. Thanks again for watching, guys.